Okay, so let's see, today is February 1st, 2017, and we're recording this session showing that when you first get into your Chrome, when you first get started with this, you need to go over here and click on the word About, and that'll automatically, well, first you go to your Chrome settings. To get there, you go to this button at the upper right-hand corner of your Chrome. After you get there, then you go to your settings, you choose settings, and after you get to settings, you click on About. And then when you click on About, it'll automatically start updating your Chrome. This one, Donna Lynn is updating hers right now. And so that's one thing you want to do first when you first log into your Chrome. Make sure it's up to date. And then when it's done here, we will go show you the settings you should have on your Chrome. Okay, so Donalyn, we're just waiting for your Chrome to finish updating.
Yes, it's 97% now.
Yeah, it takes a little bit. Okay, an error occurred. Okay, you can do that later. Actually, what you need to do is go to chrome.com and download it again because it's defective somewhere, but you don't have to do that right now. What you'll want to do is just go to chrome.com and download. You know what? It's pretty fast, I think. Try it right now. I think you can do it really fast. Just go to chrome.com and click to download it. Download Chrome. I think it goes really fast, actually.
Chrome.com?
I think so, yeah. Just go to Chrome. Just type Chrome in the address bar and it'll find it. Let's see. You just want to find the download button and download it again. Yeah, get Google Chrome and just download it again.
Okay. Download Chrome.
Yeah, download Chrome. I think it goes pretty fast and it should fix it. Yeah, accept and install. And then you click this thing down here and click the arrow and then click open when done. Click the arrow and then click open. Oh, you did click open. Yeah, click open. Okay, and then I think it might even be done already because I know it's really fast. Hopefully this will fix it. So when you first get started working with this, you want to make sure your Chrome is up to date. Sometimes that means you have to re-download it to fix it if it's had a virus in the past. Downloading, 3 minutes remaining. Okay, so we're installing Chrome on Donna Lynn's machine again to make sure it's up to date. Installation failed due to an unspecified error. Okay, you're going to have to work on fixing that later. It'll still work good enough for now.
Yes.
Okay, so next go to your settings again in Chrome at the top right. And then choose, see how you're logged in as your company email. That's good. That's what you want.
Yes.
And then you want to click right here where it says continue where you left off. And then you've already got this checked, always show the bookmarks bar, and that's good. Okay, so you're done with that. So now you can go to AMS to start working on a quote. So you go to your far left top tab here and click to log in, and make sure you're logged into your company email, which is the Donald Lynn at FCDA.co. It's just your first name and your last initial, Donald Lynn B at FCDA.co, and then get rid of the space after CO, and make sure that you realize it ends in .co. It does not end in .com. It ends in .co.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Then you go to quotes needed, of course. And let's work on the one that you already started. So don't click on new, or that'll start another new one. So instead you click on plus,
All right.
because you're going to either look at some that other people did, or else you're going to finish the one you started. So we're going to click edit to finish the one you started. And since you're choosing CX, which is also called Asia Miles for your specialty, you put that here, CX, and then for the name of the customer. Then you change this to researching and make sure this has your name on it. So you're all good there. Then in the workflow checklist, you go and put your name there. So you double click your CX at the top, which you've done already. Put your name there, put working, okay? Then the next thing to do is to go to request info, make sure you've got the information written down as to what he wants. And so he wants San Francisco to Manila, and he wants February 9th, and it's one way, okay?
One way. So
yeah.
For the return date, if it's like this, so it means it's only one way.
Yeah, if you see a return date that's 1969, you'll know that it's one way, or he, for some reason, did not fill in the date. So the reason 1969 shows up here is because the customer never filled in a date there. And now you can see why he didn't fill in a date, because it's one way, and he filled in February 9th and he left this blank. Anytime a customer leaves a date blank, it's going to show up as 1969 just automatically in the computer. So if you see 1969, you know the customer did not put a date there. So then you got to look and see why, and it's because it's one way usually. So here's his date that he wants, February 9th. It's business class. It's for one person, okay? It's from San Francisco to Manila, okay? And on this one, there's some special instructions, nothing that's partly economy. He doesn't want any United, and he only wants the flights that are one connection, okay? So what we're gonna do first, the fastest way to deal with this, to find out the date that's available, is to go to KVS. So find KVS on your computer and then right click on it. Wait a minute, before you click on it, go back to where you were, and it's, yeah, close that for a minute. Oh, you did put it down there. Okay, so you're good. Oh, let's see. No, I think it's down there because you've got it open. Am I right? Close it. Let's see if it disappears off the bottom. Or do you have it pinned to your, you have it pinned. Okay, no, you don't have it pinned down here yet. So what you want to do is go back to your start button. And then this time, don't open it up, but instead right click on it and choose pin to taskbar. And that way it'll always be down here at the bottom where you can get at it. Okay, so click that to open it up and put in your cities, which is SFO to MNL. SFO to MNL.
SFO to MNL. And the date?
And then you got to make sure it's available that day. Okay, so San Francisco to Manila, 9th of February. Now change this to CX at the top because you're going to be a CX specialist. So you always start with CX. Later, as you get more trained, you'll be able to combine different airlines and do more than one airline. But to begin with, you should just concentrate on one airline and just
Okay.
try the same airline for every single reservation you work on for a while until you get the hang of it. And so you're always, for you personally, you're always going to choose CX here for now. And then instead of cabins, we don't sell economy, so change the cabins to business and first, which is the bottom one. Okay, and it's one person, so that's right. And then what I recommend is that you click this gear before you do anything else and choose to launch another instance. And that way you've got it open twice so you can check two different dates at once. So slide this one over to the left, and then the new one that pops up, slide it to the right. So you've got one slid to the right, one to the left. The one on the left, hit go, and that's going to search for February 9th. Then the one on the right, hit the down arrow, and that'll automatically search for the next day, which is February 10th. So notice you're searching for February 9th on this one, and you're searching for February 10th on this one. So you're searching two different dates at once. That's the purpose of KVS, to figure out which date is available. It's a lot faster to do it on KVS than it is to do it on the website for most airlines. So that's why we start out by searching. Okay, wait a minute. Let me see what this says. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Um, Using which program is it talking about? IE Web Prep Loader. I don't recognize that. So for now, click Don't Allow. I don't think that has anything to do with KVS. I haven't seen that before. Okay, so we're searching both dates, and both of them are on CX. Both of them are the same cities. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so click OK, and let's click the keys on KVS and see if your KVS is up to date. So you click the keys, and then you click check for updates. You only have to do it on one of them, and you can't do it until the thing's done thinking. The one on the right is done thinking, so you can do it on that one. Click the keys and then check for updates. Okay, it's up to date. Okay, so it's an issue with the Asia Miles website. So it could be that we might have to go to the Asia Miles website to finish this one. But let's slide this KVS that's over here on the right up to the top of your screen so that you can make it taller so we can see if there's any. Oh, that'll do. Now this is saying that there's nothing available, but it also gave you an error and it told you to go to the website. So let's skip KVS on CX for today because it says it has some kind of a problem. So we're going to close KVS. Wait a minute. You know, it could be that it needed that thing that we disallowed. I'm not sure what happened there. So let's go to a new one. And you should have a shortcut for Asia Miles. If you don't, let's make one. Click your button over here and see if you have a shortcut made already for Asia Miles. You probably do. Yeah, it's this A right here. So what I would do is I would go back here where the arrows are, and I would slide that A, because if you're going to be an Asia Miles specialist, you're going to want to slide that up here somewhere onto your main bar. And notice it doesn't have a name because you don't need it because you'll recognize that logo. And let me give you a little tip on this matrix one. How about if you right click on the word matrix? And one second. You must have left clicked on it. So right click on the word matrix up here. Right click. And choose edit. And now hit the delete button to get rid of that title. You don't need all those words, and hit save. Now notice what happened up on the top. It's just a logo now, so it saves you a lot of room.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
I'll do that on first.
Yeah, I would do that on all of the ones where you recognize the logo because it'll save you a lot of room on your bookmarks bar. you don't need a name on this. You know that's matrix. You know this is Asia Miles.
Yes.
And the same on this agent management. Why don't you right click on that one and get rid of the words, because you'll know that that airplane is. So edit, hit delete, and then hit save. Okay, so you know that that airplane is your AMS, right?
Yeah.
So you don't need all those words. Okay, so next we're going to click on this and go to Asia Miles.
Oh, sorry.
And there's a couple of things that I need to show you on Asia Miles. First of all, yes, log in, click remember me.
All right.
Okay, now there's a couple of different areas that you use Asia Miles. Slide down the page here. Let me look at this page with you. Okay, I actually don't like this link. There's a better link for you to use. So I'm going to Skype it to you.
Oh, I think you already did.
Okay, so go get that better link. Yeah, copy that one. And so, okay, yeah, this is a better one. So right click on this Asia Miles logo right here, the one on your bookmarks, right click and choose delete, get rid of that old one.
Okay.
And now hit the star for this new one and hit delete to get rid of the words and hit done. And then slide it up where it belongs. So this is a better link in my opinion. So to test it, hit it again just to test it, make sure it gets you here. And let me show you what's on this page. The second box down, slide down your page a little bit. The second box down is the one that you'll use the most, and you click right here where it says redeem online, but don't do that yet. I'm just showing you that's the one you'll go to the most. And the other thing you'll go to the most on this page is this flight award finder. Okay, the flight award finder you need to use to double check that you got the right amount of miles, because this part on the left tells you what's available, but it's not always the right amount of miles. You have to double check it over here on the right with this flight award finder. So first we're going to click right here where it says flight awards redeem online to find out what's available.
Okay.
To click that, and you always use the one that says flexible dates. See right here, flexible dates. So use the one that it already is clicked, flexible dates. So click one way and business class. Hold on just a minute, everybody.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to put from San Francisco to MNL. And it's one way, business class.
Mm-hmm.
And the date is February 8th, right?
9.
I think, oh, you're right. Is it the 9th? Yeah, you're right. It's the 9th. Okay, and you want flexible dates because I'll show you why in a minute.
All right.
Okay,
Is
and
this search by destination?
yeah, leave that as search by destination.
Okay.
So San Francisco to Manila, one way, business class, one person, February 9th, and you want flexible dates and then hit search.
Okay.
Okay, now let's look on this page. So obviously February 9th is not available because it says try wait list, but it does have February 10th available, and it tells you the miles already. So write down the 85,000 miles and 728 Hong Kong dollars. Okay, and so it's available, but you don't know the flight number or anything yet. So go ahead and click at the, click the radio button, put a click there so that you're selecting it. And then go to the bottom and click next so that see if it'll give you the flight numbers. Okay, slide down the page. So this, notice how it, okay, so this leaves just after midnight on the 10th, which means he's going to go to the airport on the 9th at 9 p.m. because you check in 3 hours early. So this flight leaves at 1 in the morning. So he needs to check in before 10 p.m. on the 9th because this is early in the morning on the 10th. Just so you understand how to read this. He's going to go to the airport on the 9th, check in at 10 p.m. The plane leaves at 1 in the morning. Then it gets to Hong Kong at 8 o'clock in the morning, and this +1 means it's the next day. So he's going to get to Hong Kong on the 11th, right?
11. Oh,
right. Okay, and then this flight is on the 11th. It's the next day, and then he's going to get here at 11:10 on the 11th. So he's going to check in on the 9th at 10 p.m. The plane leaves at 1 in the morning on the 10th, and he gets to Manila on the 11th at 11:10 in the morning. You see how that works? Okay, so the +1 means the next day, and this +1 is not another day, it's just the same next day. So if this is +1, that's the 11th, this is still the 11th, this is still the 11th, okay? So you don't keep adding a day, it's just +1 from the 10th when the trip started. If it was another day, it would say +2 on this one down here, but it doesn't. So it's everything's.
So this is in Hong Kong leaves 9 in the morning.
Right.
Right. And it arrives in Manila the next day on 11 in the morning.
Well, not the next day again. It's already the next day. It's only one next day. So the 10th, now it's the next day. Now it's still the next day on the 10th. Now it's still the next day on the 10th. Because they're all +1 from the 10th. You don't keep adding a day. So this isn't the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. No, it's the 10th. They start the trip at 1 o'clock in the morning on the 10th, which means they already checked in at 10 p.m. on the 9th, right? So they get to the airport early. They get to the airport at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. on the 9th. Then the plane leaves on the 10th. Then it gets to Hong Kong plus a day on the 11th. This is still +1 day on the 11th. This is still +1 day on the 11th. Understand?
Yes.
You don't keep adding another day. One moment, please. First class discount air. It's Donald speaking. Okay, so that's how you read this. You don't keep adding a day. All these +1s are just the 11th of February. Okay. If there was a +2, that'd be the 12th of February because it's the 10th of February +2 days, but there is no +2. So you check in on the 9th, you fly at 1 in the morning on the 10th, you get to Hong Kong +1 day on the 11th. This is still +1 day the 11th. This is still +1 day the 11th. So it gets to Manila at 11:10 on the 11th. Okay. So what's good about this one is that it's only in Hong Kong for an hour, so that's a nice connection. This one down below it is there. It gets there at 8 in the morning. It doesn't leave till 2 in the afternoon. So this one isn't so good. So we'll pick this one up here, okay? And this one up here already tells us the flight numbers. So write those down, CX 893 and 901, right? And you can stop right here, but let's go forward and see what it gives us. So slide down the page and let's see what we can do further. It might give us the miles and taxes, which is good. Okay, here it is. So here's the miles and the taxes. So that's what's going to go in your award calculator. So go over here to your agent management system tab, the award calculator, and put in the 85,000 miles. And then the Hong Kong dollars you're going to have to convert to US dollars. So to do that, do you have the shortcut yet for doing that?
I guess no.
Okay, so go to a new tab that you're not using, like the setting tab, for example, will work. You can go to that one. And then go to this website that I'm going to give you to use for converting money.
I'm sorry.
The Red Cross one.
The currency fund.
Oh, you have that. Okay, so go there. But you go there on a different new tab, not on the one you're working on.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Okay. And by the way, after you convert those Hong Kong dollars, with Asia miles, you always have to add $100 each direction. I'll show you where to do that. So first put Hong Kong dollars here, HKD. Just type HKD. Okay. And then put in what the website gave you for the dollars, 700 and whatever it was. And then do not touch this red button in the middle. Don't touch that, but instead you just look over here and make sure the number on the left does not have any dollar signs and no commas. No dollar signs, no commas. And copy the taxes, which are right here, and go put them into your award calculator.
Okay, one moment. Here.
It's under Tools, Award Calc. Okay, and in the box on the left, just type CX and hit Tab, Tab. CX, Tab, Tab. Hit the tab twice. Okay, and then that's 85, Tab, Tab. Make sure the 0, just hit Tab, Tab now. See how it added the zeros for you? So after you do it, look at it and make sure it looks right. Make sure it's not 850,000. Make sure it's not 8,500. It's supposed to be 85,000, and it is. But to do that, you just type the 85 and hit Tab, Tab. Then the taxes are the what you got off the Red Cross site, 90 whatever it was. So go back to this currency 24 page to get the taxes. Just click on that
93.
and copy that 93 blah blah. Just copy the whole thing. Go over to the award calc and paste it in there. And then with Asia miles, you always add $100 each direction for airport taxes. So put $100 there. Okay, now if it was a round trip, you'd put $200. But this is a one-way, so you only put $100. And you searched for one seat, so you do not need to split it because it's not giving you the miles for two people that you need to split to make it for one person. You already just searched for one person, and there's only one person traveling, and you don't need to know if there's two seats because there's only one person traveling, right? Yeah. So notice what we did. We chose the miles. We put in 85 without the zeros and hit Tab, Tab. We put in the taxes, and then we put in, this only applies to Asia miles. It doesn't apply to other airlines.
Okay.
This is only if you're using CX. You add $100 each direction. If this was a round trip, you would add 200. But since it's only one way, you add 100. Okay, so now slide to the bottom.
That's only for Asia miles.
Only for Asia miles.
Okay.
So slide to the bottom of the page, and this yellow box, you automatically put 400 usually. However, on this one, you may not have noticed it. Erase the whole thing and then type 400. And then click the white area so that it refreshes. Okay. And you may not have noticed, but on this quote, it said to use 500 GP. However, I'm going to overrule that because I don't like the looks of this 2033. So let's take off $35 and make it, let's say, 365 GP. So make that 365 GP. And you will know that with experience that you're going to want to adjust the GP so that the price looks good. 1995 sounds a lot better than 2033. And if it was, 2065, maybe we would have made it 435 GP so that it would be 2095. You always want your prices to end up somewhere around $95. So you either take some off the 400 to make it 1996 like we did, or you could add some to the 400 to make it 2096. But this particular one, this sounds a lot better to make it less than 2000. So you're determining the price that we're selling it for by adjusting this yellow box. And you want this to be somewhere between 300 to 500. But yet you also want this to sound good, like it's attractive, like they might want to buy it.
For the gross profit, it would not go down to what amount or what numbers?
Never below 101.
Okay.
Never below $101.
Okay.
But the average is 300 to 700.
300 to 700.
Usually, yeah. And most of the time it's around 400.
Okay.
Okay. But you never go below 101, and you don't normally go more than about 700, 800, 900. But almost always it's real close to 400.
400, all right.
Yeah, or even exactly 400. But see, we started at 400 and it didn't sound good. It was 2033. So we took off a little bit to make it sound better in 1995. Like I said, if it came out to 2082, then maybe we would have made it 410 or 420 to make it 2095. You see what I mean? You always want the prices to be somewhere around 95 at the end. So you either reduce this or increase it, and it's your choice, whatever you think sounds good. But obviously 1996 sounds a lot better than 2033. That's why we did it, right?
Yes, okay.
Okay. And when you're changing this yellow box, you're changing the selling price that we're selling it for, because this is the selling price in US dollars.
Okay.
Okay. So now when you're done with all this, you hit this Export XML button right there. And then you click in the white area down here first, and then hit Control A like Apple to highlight everything in that box, and then Control C to copy it. Then you go to your quote, which is your far left tab at the top, and you click on Financial Info. Okay. And then you click this blue import button at the top. Click the blue import button at the top. Then you paste it in up here in the box that shows up and hit OK. Okay. So just to review, you click here to import it, then a box pops up. You can do it again, it won't hurt it. Click here to import it. A box pops up, Control V to paste it in there. OK. Now there's a couple more things you need to do to this. You need to estimate what they would have paid for this if they never called us, and I'll show you how to estimate that. And you also change this to something that you do not want first, like Japanese yen or something. And then he's starting his trip in the United States in San Francisco, so we're going to use US dollars. But you don't go straight to dollars. First you change it to Japanese yen or something you do not want, then you change it to dollars. Okay. And the reason for that is that it refreshes it and makes it calculate. So if it's dollars, then obviously both of these are going to be the same, because it's local currency dollars, and it's dollars. Okay, but now we need to know the retail price. So to get the retail price, you go to a tab that you're not using. For example, this settings tab, you could go to that one. And then you hit matrix so you can get the pretty flights. And then you put in the cities and the flight numbers. And to put in the cities and the flight numbers, I've got them written down, so I'll tell you what they are. Otherwise, you'd flip back and forth to go get them, So it's from SFO. It's from SFO to MNL. And then you also click this advanced routing codes. And then you put in the flight numbers, which are CX893 and space CX901. And I wrote no, not down there, because that's a round trip. This is a one-way.
Just space. Okay.
Yeah, just a space. Because it's one way, there's no return trip. Okay, 893,901. And those you wrote down from the Asia Miles website. And then you put in the date, which is February 10th. Remember, we had to go to February 10th.
Yes.
And then business class. And then get rid of this X, right, this check mark right here. And then put USD right here. And hit search. Okay, and you forgot to hit one way at the top. That's why it's asking for another date. So go to the very top of your screen and hit one way. Okay, now hit search. Okay, now you hit the duration button next because you want to bring and then hit the sort by duration, the blue line, and then close it with this X. And the reason you did that was to bring the quickest trip to the top of the list. This is 18 hours, 42 hours, 66 hours. The one that you are getting from the website, if you click details over here, remember the layover was only about an hour. We gotta make sure and get the one that only has about an hour layover, because click the details down here and you'll see that this one is not a 1 hour layover. Click the one at the bottom here. Click right here. And see how the layover is 24 hours? You don't want that one. That's not the right one, right? So that's why you're careful to get the one with the right layover, okay? This one is a 48-hour layover. So how do you know that it's the one with the 1 hour layover? Because that's the one that the reward website offered you.
Yes.
Okay, and it's got to be the same as what the reward website offered you. If the reward website said that this was in business, in first class, you change it to first. If the reward website said this was in economy, after you copy it, you change it to economy. You're not going by what Matrix says, you're going by what Asia Miles says. Asia Miles is where we're getting the flights, and we're only coming here to copy the flights to make it pretty. So, and notice this price over here is $4,090. That's the price that goes on your, over here. Click over here. That's the price that goes right here, $4,090.
4,090.
Yeah, and if you want to get the exact price, you'd click the 4,090 and it'll tell you the exact price. So go back to Matrix and click the 4,090 up here. And now it'll give you the real exact price, $4,089.10. Do you see that? So that $4,089.10 is what goes over here as the retail price. That's what they would have paid if they never called us. And if it doesn't give you a price here, you can guess at the price for the retail price. It doesn't have to be exactly right. It's just a comparison. If you never called us, you probably would have paid about $4,089.
So I have to put here in the retail price for 4,018.
Yeah. Go to your far left tab.
4,089.
Yeah, put that there. 4089. And that's only if Matrix told you what it is. If it didn't tell you what it is, then just look at this price and estimate maybe double or an extra couple thousand or something. This retail price does not have to be exact. It's just a comparison for discussion. If you had never called us, you probably would have paid about $4,100 for this flight, but we're going to give it to you for $2,000, so we're giving it to you for half price. Do you see what I mean? So this retail price, if you have to, you can make it up and just make it sound good. But because we have Matrix in front of us, we know what it really is. We might as well put in what it really is, right?
Yes.
But this price you don't make up. This price comes from the award calculator. That's what we're really selling it for. This price at the top is just for conversation. If you never called us, you probably would have paid about this. So it's just comparing how much they're saving by calling us. So that's why this price doesn't have to be exact. You can estimate it if you need to. But in this case, we don't have to estimate it because Matrix is telling it to us. So go back to Matrix and click right below this black line once. Don't paint the flights. Don't copy them. Just click once below this black line, as close to the black line as you can get. Now hold the shift key and click over here after the word business. Just click it once while you're holding the, no, start over again. That wasn't right. Start over. Okay, click it once with your left mouse, hold the shift key, and then click after the word business over here once. Nope, that's not it. Start over.
Sorry.
Okay, you click with your left mouse underneath the black line as close as you can get. Now, let go of the left mouse and instead hold down the shift key and keep holding it. Now click once after the word business with the left mouse. Oops. Yeah, click once, hold the shift, and click after business. Click once, hold the shift, and click after. See how it highlights all of the right stuff for you? That's the way I want you to copy it, because after you get the hang of it, it's a lot faster than trying to paint it. Okay, so don't paint when you copy things. Instead, click once, let go of the mouse, hold the shift, and click down at the end of it, and it'll highlight all of it for you. Once you get the hang of that, it's a lot faster for you.
Yes.
Okay, so now you hit Control-C to copy it. Did you do that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so go to the itinerary to paste it in. Click up there and Control-V to paste it in. And don't stretch it or change it. Just go down and save it first. And then after you save it, get rid of these symbols. And add the word class after business just because it sounds better. Hold on just a moment, please. Hold on. Okay, and then you also need to tell them if it's a flatbed or not. So to do that, you go to a different tab that you're not using, like maybe this one, and you're using that one. So go to a different one you're not using. Maybe you open a new one. You always want to go to a different tab that you're not using when you do something new. So you're going to do something new. So now go to your shortcut for Seat Guru, which is this one right here. But you know what? I would right-click on that and get rid of that big long title if I were you. Right-click on this one and get rid of that big long title, because just the seat is enough. Hit Edit and then hit the Delete button and then Save. Hit the Delete button and then Save. And now you've got a nice short little seat right there. You don't need all those words, right? Okay, and click on the word Find Seat Maps at the top left. It works a lot better if you click that first. Okay, and then put in your flight number, CX893, right there. And then the date is February 10th. And then hit Go. And it's making you change that to Cathay Pacific. So just go down and change it to Cathay Pacific. Yeah, and hit Go, that's right. And then click on View Map. And then like the far right, see how it says business class flatbed? Business class flatbed. Do you see it right here? Business flatbed.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're going to type flatbed over on the quote. So go back to your quote, and after the word business, hit enter and then type flatbed on the first one. Flatbed. Okay, so now this little 2-hour flight is probably not a flatbed, and we don't even care on a 2-hour flight, so you don't even have to look it up on a 2-hour flight. Just leave it. We don't care if it's...
We're only looking for the long hours of flight?
Well, anything that's over maybe 4 or 5 hours, you want to look it up. But if it's 2 or 3 hours, who cares? Just leave it. Okay?
Okay.
So now hit save because you changed it. Anytime you change, you got to hit save again. So let's go back and look at our financial info a minute. We're just going to kind of look things over, make sure we didn't forget anything. So financial info, we've got to look and make sure, did we remember the retail price? Did we remember to change it to something we do not want and then to what we do want? And these two look logical. And let me just show you how to read this at the bottom. This is saying we're using CX 85,000 miles, CX 85K, K means 1,000. And here's the taxes we put in. Here's the $100 airport fee we put in. If it was round trip, this would be 200, but it's only 100. Here's the GP we put in. Write down the GP because you're going to need it in a minute. The GP is 365. So we're just looking this over to make sure we didn't forget anything. The itinerary info, we've got it in there, and we've got flatbed if it is. We put the word class because it sounds better. And so you're just kind of thinking, okay, am I done? Okay, I've done step 1, 2, 3. Okay, might as well do step 4. So step 4 is to send it. And when you send it, first you're going to see a complicated screen that you do nothing with. You never touch this complicated screen. You see all these percentages? Don't touch it. But instead, click on preview and send every time. And now this is a pop-up where you do make changes, and you eventually are going to send this. Let's say
I'm gonna click this now.
Yeah, click that. Now this pop-up that comes up, you're going to do 3 things to it before you send it. But first I want to show you that if you lose track of it somehow, so click over here in the white area so that you lose track of it somehow. Where did it go? Okay, to find it, you point to your Chrome down here. Don't click it, just point to it. And then pick the one that it's probably this top one here, I'm guessing. Yeah, see if that's it.
No, it's not.
Okay, I think that you have to point to it instead of click. Oh, you found it. How'd you find it? Anyway, there it is. Okay. But my point is you find it by going down and looking at your Chrome tabs, and it's one of them. It's still open, but just because you clicked over here, it disappeared, and I'm just showing you to get it back again. You go down here to your Chrome and figure out which one it is, and it'll come back again. Okay, so whenever you're doing a send, there's 3 things to do. First, oops, we've got a problem here. The price is 0, so we did something wrong. So let's close that. Okay. Let's close that whole thing. Obviously, we did something wrong if we got a 0. So go back to our financial info, and let's see if we can figure out why the price is 0. I don't see anything wrong there.
Let me...
Yeah, refresh that and see. Try saving it again right here. See, hit the save button. Yeah, just to save it again. I'm trying to figure out why it's 0. Okay, and let's go look at the itinerary. Make sure that's in there. Yeah, that's in there. Save again. Just to make sure, how about if you click in the white area and then hit F5 to refresh your screen? F5 or this refresh button, either one. Okay, and look at your financial info again. Make sure it didn't disappear on you. Everything looks right. So it should work now. We probably just needed to refresh. But anytime you see that the selling price is 0, stop because something's wrong, right?
Okay, yes.
And then let's hit that. And let's look at the price. Okay, we're good. Okay, so copy this price and put it in the subject line instead of what's there.
Here?
Yeah, copy that, put it in the subject line instead of what's there. And put a space in front of the D and spell out the word dollars.
Okay.
OLLARS. And then it's all business class. You might as well put business class.
Business class here?
Yeah. Yeah. Business class. And, you can put things here like, if you're the specialist for Cathay, then you'll always know that Cathay is a 5-star quality airline. Mm-hmm. So you could even put 5-star space, the number 5 space, the word star. Space star. And the only reason you do that is because you're the Cathay Pacific specialist and you know that all Cathay Pacific flights are considered 5-star flights. It's a really deluxe airline. Okay. So if
it's Cathay Pacific,
you can put 5-star because Cathay Pacific is a 5-star airline. You don't have to put that. I'm just making comments that you can put things here, if it's applicable. But
it's not really necessary, right?
No. The only thing that's necessary is the price and the word US dollars and the word business class, if it is business class all the way. If it's not business class all the way, then you'd put mixed or first class or whatever it is. But only if it's that all the way. So, if there's an economy flight here, then you'd put mixed or maybe put nothing. So if it's business class all the way, you put business class. And I want to emphasize that when you put the price up here, you never have a dollar sign or a comma. No dollar signs, no commas.
Okay.
No dollar signs, no commas when you put prices. Never dollar signs, never commas. It's just like when you go to your currency converter. No dollar signs, no commas. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So the first thing you do is move this to the subject line and then put business class.
Business.
The second thing you do is, have I given you the paragraph yet that you add to all quotes?
Yeah, I think this is the one.
Yes, you get that paragraph and you put it after the first beginning sentence at the top.
Sorry. Where? Here?
Right after the word savings.
Okay. Enter and...
Yeah, enter and then control V. Okay, and you can look at it and you can say, okay, that's the right one because there's a phone number at the end of it, so you don't accidentally put the wrong paragraph there. It's the paragraph that ends with a phone number. That's the one you put right here. Okay, so that's the second thing you do. You paste in that paragraph. Third thing you do is go to the very bottom of your quote and click this white area over here and then hit the enter key. And that brings your cursor down here. And now you put the first part of your email address. Yours is what? Danalyn something?
Danalyn B.
Yeah, you put the first part of your email. Then you put a hyphen. Then you put how many seats you searched for, which was 1 in this case.
1.
And then a hyphen. And then the GP, which was 365.
I'm sorry?
365, which is the GP. That's the profit the company's going to make. Okay. Remember I said you write down the GP because you're going to need it?
Yes.
So your code is the first part of your email. The 1 is how many seats you search for. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. But even if you have a 2 here, the price is still for 1 person. Even if you have a 4 here, the price is still for 1 person. The 4 here is just telling us that you searched for 4 seats. If they want to buy 4 tickets, there's 4 seats available. This 1 means I only searched for 1 seat. So if he wants 2 seats, we're going to have to come back and recheck again because I only looked for 1 seat available. You with me?
Yes.
So that tells the salesperson that's going to call the customer that, you know, he better only want 1 seat because we only looked for 1 seat. So Donalyn looked for it. She was looking for 1 seat. She found 1 seat. She made a quote with 365 GP. If one of the numbers in the GP is a 0, you make it a G like George. We use a G like George for zeros. So if the GP was 300, it would say 3GG there. 3GG means 300, but you use capital G's. But 365, you don't need a G because none of them are zeros. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. So then you think, okay, did I change all 3 things? Yes, I did. So then you hit send. And after you hit send, do nothing for a minute. Just wait. And if this thing pops up, you know, okay, it went out successfully, so I can close it. Now, after you close that, stop. Don't do anything. Let's say that right now you had to run and get something out of the refrigerator or you answer the phone. Okay, stop. Don't close this. And you come back and you look at this and you see it's ready to send and you don't remember for sure. I don't remember if I sent this for sure or not. Mm-hmm. If you're not sure if you sent it already or not, do not send it again. Don't send it again. But instead, click the X to close it and then go back to this screen and go to the top and then hit refresh by either hitting this little circle or hitting the F5 key. And notice that the word researching automatically changed to sent all by itself. You didn't change it. If you refresh and the word researching changed to sent all by itself, then you know, oh, I guess I did send it. But if you hit refresh and after you refresh it, it still says researching, that means you didn't send it yet. So go back and send it. Another little tip, if you slide to the bottom of this, if you already sent it, it won't let you click this button and send it again anyway.
Yeah.
But when you had that window open, you could have sent it again accidentally. Remember that window that popped up? Yes. If we still had that open and you hit send again on that, it would have sent it a second time. That's why I'm saying if you're not sure, close that window and come and see if this refreshes and changes to sent. And not only that, see if this button will not let you send it again. But if you had that pop-up open still, it would have let you send it again by mistake. Okay, so this one's complete. So to review, we moved the customer's name from here to here. We added what kind of miles we're going to use. We changed this to say researching it first. You make sure this is your name if this is the quote you're doing. And then go to the request workflow checklist. Let's go mark it that it's complete now because you just marked working before. So go to that and double click on the CX over here on the left. It'll open it up, put the X there and change it to say sent, and then hit submit. Okay, so anybody else that comes in here knows, oh, she's not still working on it, she's done. Okay, so that's one that's complete. Okay, does anybody else have any questions? Because if not, I'm gonna call it good and we'll do some more training tomorrow. Okay. Now, Donna Lynn, if you wanna try another one on your own, you know, go ahead and then I can just check it before you send it tomorrow.
Yes. I just want to ask something. Since my I'm CX, right? Asia Miles.
Right.
So I am only allowed to open the website Asia Miles, not other account. I mean not other websites to find the flights.
Yes, you can if you know how. But at first, so that you can do the quotes fast, you might want to just concentrate and try every single one on Asia Miles first.
Asia Miles, okay. And yeah, I yesterday I tried something.
Okay,
I have a question. Like the trip type,
yeah.
It says JAWS. I want to know what's the meaning of that. JAWS.
Open jaw means that they're going to one city and coming back from another city. So let's say they're going to London but coming back from Paris. You see how there's a flight missing here? That's an open jaw. So if I'm starting in LA and I go to London, but then I'm going to come back from Paris to LA, there in the middle here, there's a flight missing, and that's called open jaw.
All right.
And the open jaw can be at the beginning of the trip. Let's say I start here in Los Angeles and I go to London, and then I come home from Germany back to Los Angeles. Okay, that's an open jaw because in the middle of the trip there's a flight missing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They're going to drive or take a train or take a boat or who knows. Okay. That's an open jaw. There's another kind of an open jaw where they start in, let's say they start in Los Angeles and they go to London, but then from London they end up in Denver. That's also an open jaw. It's just at the other end. So you could start in Los Angeles, go to London, come home from London, but end up in Denver. That's also an open jaw. Do you see what I mean? Because there's a flight missing between LA and Denver. And the reverse is also true. If they start in LA and they go to London, but they come home from Paris back to LA, that's also an open jaw because there's a flight missing. Do you see how it looks like a mouth that's open with an open jaw? That's why it's called open jaw. There's the mouth that's open. There's a flight missing. There's the mouth that's open. It's a flight missing. Open jaw, like an open mouth. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Open jaw means that like the jaw of your face is open. It's your mouth is open because you you went to London but you came back from Paris, or you went to South Africa and you came back from, you know, Rome.
Okay. And here in quotes needed, I can choose any of this, right?
Yes, but let's say that you choose this one that has one that's been attempted already. First, you would go to the plus sign and look and see what they sent already and make sure you're not sending the same thing. So you'd click edit to look at this one. And you would look and see, so you're looking at somebody else's quote right now, right? You're not making one. You're looking to see what Blanca is doing. So look at the itinerary, for example, see what she's sending. Make sure she's not sending Asia Miles. There's no Asia Miles there, so let's go to the request workflow checklist and see if she marked that what she's doing. Right here. Click on request workflow checklist. Okay. Oh, she's not doing Asia Miles yet because CX is not clicked, right? She's doing all these other things, but not Asia Miles. So you could double click on Asia Miles right here. and put your name there saying, okay, change this to your name.
Okay.
And it's not done yet. Just put working and then click submit. Now, even though you're in her quote, you're working in a common area. This request flow checklist, you can change it from any. You would not change her name to yours, but instead you go out of the quote and go to quotes needed again and go find this one again. His name's Nasser. And
New. Click
you're
new.
going to do new because you're going to do a new one. You already know that Blanca's working on it, but she's not working on Asia Miles, okay? And this particular customer, I'm going to go put a note in here that should be there. Is this particular customer?
There's no
it says right here 1500 GP. This is saying that this particular customer, you got to really put a really high profit on it. That's a requirement for this particular customer.
Okay.
So we don't sell tickets to this customer unless we're making $1,500 GP. So this one you would not use 400 GP. You would use 1,500 GP.
Okay?
Okay.
But there's. I'm actually confused with the request information.
Okay, so there's no dates at the top. So now you got to read down here and see what the dates are.
Here? Oh, okay. Toronto to Zanzibar.
16th of July, return the 25th.
Oh, I see.
How many people? One. Business class. So
Business class.
if this date doesn't make any sense, it means that it's either one way or else the dates are down here. But this is not one way. It says return, which means round trip. So therefore, you're going to say, oh, well, where's the dates? If they're not up here, where are they? They're down here.
So for the GP, I'm gonna put $1,500.
Yeah, not 400, not 1,200. You're gonna put 1,500.
Okay. So I'm gonna.
And that's only for this one customer because there's a note in here that says that.
Okay. So I always follow the request notes. So,
yes.
right,
Yes,
okay.
and you compare it to what it says up here and figure out, what makes sense. One person, business class. These dates don't make any sense. He wants round trip. Okay, well, where's his dates then? Oh, I see. They're right here. And then there's a note here to use 1,500 GP on this one. And usually you don't have to use a certain GP. Usually there's not a note like that. But this particular customer, we don't sell to him unless we're making 1,500 GP.
Right.
It's because he's a lot of trouble and he makes a lot of changes, and we don't want to sell tickets to him unless we're making lots of money on it. Otherwise, it's not worth our time.
Okay.
But usually 400 is plenty for us. Okay, now because you're in this one and this one is you, first you're going to copy his name, put it right here, and then put in front of his name, put CX4, and then change this to researching. Go hit save. Save at the bottom. Okay, so now you've got your information. Write down this information so that you can go search it. And if you don't know the airport code for Zanzibar, just go Google it. Say airport code for Zanzibar.
All right. Okay.
And the same for Toronto. If you don't know the code for Toronto, then you go airport code for Toronto in Google. Okay. And then probably this one's probably not available on Asia Miles. So real soon you're probably going to come back and click this request workflow checklist, check it again. And if it is not available, you would double click the CX, go back in here, mark it complete, and change the word working to not available, and then hit submit again. Okay. Probably that's what's going to happen on this one because it's probably not available. So after I hang up and the meeting's over, you're going to go research it. And
yes, I'm going to try.
And I bet you're going to find out that it doesn't work. It's not available. So don't spend a lot of time finding out that it's not available because you don't get paid for the ones that are not available. You only get paid for the ones that you sent. That last one you sent was available. You made a quote. It was cheaper than Matrix. We were saving him money. It was a good connection. Everything was great. You sent the quote, so you earned $1 on that one. So
Okay.
that's why you want to concentrate at first on Asia Miles, so you can be really fast. Pretty soon you're going to get to know the Asia Miles website really well. You're going to know, I click here, click there, click here, do this, do that. It's available, it's not available. Let's go. Just click, 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 and you find out there's no flights here. Forget it. Go back and put in here not available and move on to the next one. So
Okay.
you can go ahead and send quotes now. You can go ahead and start working. However, you're going to have a lot of questions. So if you're not sure, just don't send it and wait
Yeah.
until tomorrow and ask me to look at it before you send it, okay?
Yes.
If you're
Okay. I'll.
sure everything's okay, you can send it. But if you're not sure, then
Mhm.
don't send it and ask me first, okay?
Yeah. I think I'm still gonna ask you, sir.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what I'm here for. So
Okay.
you can go ahead and work on them. Like this one, you hit cancel here to close that. Like this one, you can go ahead and put in, slide down, you can put in an itinerary, you can put in the math line, you can get it all ready to send. Just don't send it yet until I look at
Okay.
it with you.
All right. Okay.
And just buzz through a lot of them quickly, because most of them are not available. So don't spend a lot of time on the ones that are not available. You have to get good at going to either KVS or the website.
Mhm.
Like, for example, get the code for Zanzibar. I don't know what it is. Toronto is YYZ, but go to Google and get the code for Zanzibar. Just put Zanzibar airport code. You don't have to type Google. You can just type it right in here in the URL.
Oh,
You
okay.
don't have to go to Google first. Just type it in the URL. Put Zanzibar airport code, CODE.
ZNZ.
Okay, so Z and Z. So pull up KVS really quick and I'll show you. Okay, put in YYZ to ZNZ. YYZ to ZNZ. Of course, I think we're having trouble with KVS, so you might have to do this on the airline website instead of doing it in KVS. So put ZNZ, put in the date they want. I think he said anytime in April, so just pick April, whatever, and double click a date and hit that and hit go. And while that's thinking, I would also go to the Asia Miles website. You might as well, while you're waiting, and try it on the Asia Miles website also. So click on Asia Miles, and then
Oh yeah, it's here.
while your KVS is thinking, you can also be trying it on the website at the same time and just use whichever one was faster. Okay, you're not in the right place on this website. Did you use your link? Use your link right here to get to the right place. Click on your link on your click on your link on your, yeah, because that'll get you to the right place. See, this is a better place than where you were just now. Okay, so click redeem online. And there's one step I forgot to show you on here that, okay, Toronto to ZNZ. He wants round trip, business, put in the dates. It doesn't even have to be the right dates at first, because it might say they don't even fly there. Okay, click always flexible dates and then search. There's one thing I forgot to show you about Asia Miles earlier. I need to show you right now. Once you know how to do other airlines, you can search more than one airline. You don't have to just stick with Asia Miles. You're only sticking with Asia Miles so that you can be fast. See, it
It's
says not
actually
available.
not available.
Okay. And then go to your KVS by clicking at the bottom of your screen here. Go back to KVS, and it probably also says not available.
Yeah.
See all these? Oh, here's, Oh, this is still the wrong cities. Oh, here it is. Okay. See how it says no award availability? So you tried it in KVS, it said not available. You tried it on the website, it said not available. So really fast, go back to this quote you started and change the request workflow to not available and put done and move to the next one. See how you want to be fast and eliminate it fast so you don't waste time because you're not getting.
Not available, right?
Get rid of the word working. Yeah, not available, submit, and done. Okay, and then make sure you save it at the bottom. And then, okay, that complicated screen means that it's already saved. And the reason for that is that this workflow checklist saves itself, and you don't actually have to go to the bottom to save it. But I wanted you to go to the bottom to save it out of habit so that you don't forget to save things. So if you click to save it and you get that complicated screen, it means it's already saved. And the reason it's already saved is that this request workflow actually saves itself when you click submit. Okay, so now you go back to quotes needed, and just find another one. And by the way, a little tip, the ones that are the best are the ones that have Hong Kong in them because that's their hub, or anything where it's logical to be going through Hong Kong. Like it's logical to go from Australia to Hong Kong to, where did that one go?
And the numbers here are the numbers of people who is working, right?
Or have attempted already.
Attempted, okay.
Because remember yours, you put a new, but you didn't do it. You just attempted it. Okay, I need to show you one last thing on the Asia Miles website. So go back to the Asia Miles website. And remind me tomorrow, let's see, click your shortcut again so you get back to the beginning. I want to show you something. When you find something the way that I showed you to find it over here, I forgot to tell you that you also have to go to this flight award finder and double check that it gave you the right amount of miles. Because on Asia Miles, when you do it the way that we did it the first time, sometimes it'll give you the wrong miles, especially if it involves more than one flight or a different airline. So the one that we did before, put in here one way. Remember we did a San Francisco to Manila one? Put in here one way, put business class from SFO, and it went from San Francisco to Hong Kong first. So you have to put San Francisco to Hong Kong here. And then click down here, add a sector. And now you got to put Hong Kong to Manila. Because with Asia Miles, you have to recheck it. See how this thing opens up? One-way ticket, business class, San Francisco to Hong Kong, then Hong Kong to MNL. And then these are both Cathay Pacific. What you're doing is double checking what it gave you on the other part of the website. Hit calculate. Remember it was 85,000 miles?
Yes.
And you have to double check that over here before you can believe it. And I forgot to tell you to do that. So click calculate. Sometimes this will say that it's 105,000 or some other number. You have to go by what this says.
Okay. So I have to follow what it says here.
You have to try it both ways. First, you go to your link and you find out if the flights are available and you get the flight numbers and you find out the miles and taxes, and then you put it in the award calculator. But before you're done, you come back here and make sure that the miles that you have in the award calculator match this. This doesn't give you flight numbers, and this does not tell you if it's available. It only tells you what the miles are supposed to be, because sometimes you'll put miles in here and it'll say some other number like 105,000, and this is what's correct, not the other part of the website. In this particular case, it so happens that the other part of the website was correct, but I forgot to tell you to double check it over here. So let's review that for everybody. So click your shortcut first. And you always use that to get here so you get to the right place. And then you go to the second box down and you click on Flight Awards, the second box down. That's No, that
Right
wasn't the second box down. Go back and hit your shortcut again.
here.
The second box down. Yep, that one. So that one, yeah, you go to the second box down, click that, and this is where you put in your flights, and you found out that it was 85,000 miles, and you got the taxes, and you also got the flight numbers, right?
Yes.
And then you put it in your award calculator, and then you added $100 each direction for airport tax on top of the taxes, remember? And if it's round trip, you add $200. But then after you do that, before you say, okay, I'm done, then that's when you go back to your shortcut again on Asia Miles. Go back to your shortcut again on Asia Miles. And you go this time, go to your shortcut, click your shortcut.
This one?
You click your shortcut again. Sorry, I was your bookmark. And then it gets you back to the beginning. Now this time, instead of the second box down, you're going to use the flight finder to double check it. So go to the flight finder, and this is the one where you have to put in every leg. So remember, it's going from San Francisco to Hong Kong first, and then what happened here? This doesn't look right. Go back to your shortcut.
Okay, one moment.
Your shortcut is on the bookmarks bar.
I'll just close everything here. So
Your shortcut on the bookmarks bar, right here. Okay, now we already did the second box down, and we already found out the miles, the taxes. We already added the $100 each way for airport taxes on top of the taxes. Now we're going to double check it by going to the flight finder. Oh, actually, it's right here. I gave you the wrong link. Sorry, it's this one down here. And that's what makes this pop up. You put the one way or round trip, whatever it is, and then business class. And it's from San Francisco to Hong Kong. Every single piece has to be put in here separately, Hong Kong. And then add a sector, Hong Kong to Manila. And what you're doing here is double checking the other part of the website that it gave you the right answer. So one way, business, San Francisco, Hong Kong to Manila. And it's Cathay Pacific on both of them. And calculate. And if this says 85,000, great. But if this said 110, you would change your award calculator to be 110. So let's go to the award calculator a second. Let me show you what I mean. So slide to the top of the award calculator. And if that said 110, you would change this to 110, 110, tab. And then you already had the taxes, those are right. And you already had the airport fee, that's right. And all you did was change the miles based on what that flight finder told you. And remember, this $100 is because only for Cathay Pacific, only for Asia Miles, only this airline, you have to add an extra $100 as a fee each direction. If it's a one-way trip, it's $100. If it's a round trip, you add $200. That's on top of the taxes that the website gave you. That's on top of the miles that the website gave you. So you understand that you in Asia Miles, you actually do two searches. You do the first search to find out if it's available, how many miles and taxes. You put that in here, you add $100 each way. But then you go back to Asia Miles and you do that flight award, what is it called? Flight award calculator or something?
Flight award finder.
Flight award finder. And you do that afterwards to double check that it gave you the right miles. Because for some reason, Asia Miles sometimes gives you the wrong answer when it's telling you which flights are available. They'll say these flights are available, it's 85,000 miles, it's this much tax. Come over here and they'll say it's 110 or 105 or 130. You got to use what it says here for the miles. And the reason, well, it's a long involved reason, just trust me, you have to do it. And once in a while you'll come over here and you'll find out that the miles are really higher. And that's when you have to go to the award calculator and fix it. So when you do an Asia Mile search, if it's available and you put it in the award calculator, you're only half done. You have to go back and use the flight finder and double check it, okay?
Okay. All right.
Okay, that's it. So we'll see you tomorrow for some more training unless you have a quick question. Do you have a question, Irene? Guess not. And you're good, Donalyn?
Yes, I think I'm good. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
So just have me check them before you send them for a day or two, okay?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, thank
All right.
you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.